Now at 9, the Kansas Water Office hosts a meeting to discuss water issues in southeast Kansas. Plus, some local health experts give tips on how to live healthy on a budget. And
a special counsel will look into the discovery of classified documents at President Biden's home and office. I'm Mallory Rivera in Washington with that announcement coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Water challenges in southeast Kansas was the topic of discussion in Parsons today. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. KOAM's Carrie Wortham learned more about the problems and how water experts hope to address them.
A motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
The Neosho and Verdigris Regional Advisory Committees had a joint meeting at the Parsons, Kansas Library. This meeting is the first meeting of the new year and discussed issues affecting the region and state. There are 14 region officers.
The regional advisory committees are our grassroots stakeholders that get together, talk about issues, water issues happening in their regions, and then they have the opportunity to offer recommendations.
Some issues such as harmful algae blooms, sedimentation, and aquatic nuisance species, such as zebra mussels, are just a few topics that were discussed. Wes Fleming is the RAC chair and said issues caused by blue-green algae in the watershed can run through to our area.
Issues, they trickle down, so if there's a blue-green algae issue going on up in Marion, then that's a result of too many nutrients. Well, that water moves on down to Redmond and then on down here.
All recommended issues will be taken to the next Kansas Water Authority meeting, and funding for the projects will also be discussed.
We'll get back together probably in April or maybe even earlier than that to have our discussion on what line items within the state water plan funding that we want to try to suggest that they have an increased funding level.
In Parsons, Carrie Wortham, KOAM News.
The committee will meet with legislators in Topeka, Kansas later this month. All right, and now we go to weather, and Chloe O'Royal joins us. Chloe?
Yeah, so it's been a dry one the past few months or so. Thankfully, we're getting towards the end of that. We saw a little bit of relief this morning with those snowflakes here and there. Let's take a closer look across the board, especially portions of, or the majority of Kansas and even Oklahoma. Now, Missouri and Arkansas are a little bit more on that lucky side, but we're up to exceptional to extreme rates of drought conditions, so very dry right now. Now, speaking of this morning, we saw some flurries. Now, the ground was a little too warm, as well as the temperatures were a little too warm for that to stick around, but we saw some beautiful flurries this morning, just enough. Now, coming up here in a bit, we're going to talk a little bit more about those drought conditions, as well as the storm system on Monday and Wednesday, and maybe some colder temperatures at the end of the week. I'll have all of that coming up here in just a bit.
Many people want to start a healthy lifestyle as they start the new year. However, some realize being able to eat healthy in this economy may be expensive. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to health and fitness experts about having a healthy lifestyle without breaking the bank.
Upholding a healthy lifestyle can be difficult for someone who's on a budget. However, what's in your wallet doesn't have to hold you back.
I think it's more of a stereotype. You can definitely still eat on a budget and eat healthy. I just always recommend, keeping it simple, eating whole foods. You don't want to eat things that have a lot of extra, they'll put in extra chemicals and oils just to make things look better and taste a little bit better. Those things aren't good for you.
Buying clean, whole foods in bulk can be cheaper than eating out. Meal prepping can get a little repetitive at times, but you'll see results in your health and wallet.
I mean, honestly, anymore, just to get a fast food meal is about $15 a person, which is insane, but you can definitely still eat on at home on a healthy or a cheaper budget for that.
Eating healthy is only half the battle. You can get active from your home using household objects as well.
I like to ask people whenever I do an assessment here, do you have a couch at home? That's a piece of equipment. Do you have a countertop at home? Do you have a wall? Do you have a bed? Do you have a chair that doesn't have wheels on it? Those are all pieces of equipment that we can do numerous things on. I mean, I could build a 2-hour workout for 5 days a week using just the equipment that I just named.
Thinking outside the box when it comes to getting active can save money and make your fitness goals more attainable.
So whenever people realize that they have so many things we can call exercise equipment actually already in their home. I do see a sense of excitement. You know, people that maybe had exercised in high school or during their college days, or just before they had kids, or before they got really busy, or they have to work 2 jobs.
With the economy changing and inflation fluctuating, starting a healthy lifestyle can seem discouraging. But with determination and opportunistic thinking, a healthy lifestyle is achievable for anyone.
The experts also told Amber that having a healthy lifestyle could start slowly, but with consistency, you'll eventually reach your goal. A Fayetteville, Arkansas couple today made a precious donation to Freeman Health System. Michelle and Dusty Hurst donated a cuddle cot, a small portable chamber that stays cool to allow families dealing with the loss of a newborn child to spend time with their baby at home. The Hurst made the donation after losing 2 newborns themselves.
For a family that's going through loss, you know, don't let anyone tell you that how you're grieving is right or wrong. There is no right or wrong, and do what you need to do to help yourself. You know, that's what I would say as encouragement to families.
We're so excited when we had gotten pregnant, and
Freeman Health System now has 2 cuddle cots for parents to use. Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed a special counsel to look into President Biden's classified documents. The White House says they will cooperate, but it's a legal and political headache for the president as he gears up for a possible 2024 re-election bid. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera reports from Washington.
The President of the United States is now the subject of an investigation. The Justice Department says it was forced to act after classified documents were found in unsecure locations, including the president's garage in Delaware.
It was in the public interest to appoint a special counsel.
Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed Robert Hur to investigate President Biden's handling of classified documents.
I take classified documents and classified material seriously.
The White House admits sensitive government documents were found dating back to President Biden's time as vice president. One sat at his home in Wilmington, Delaware, some in the garage.
Classified material next to your Corvette, what were you thinking?
My Corvette's in a locked garage. Okay, so it's not like you're sitting out in the street.
And another batch found at his former office in Washington, D.C. The DOJ was under pressure to act, especially from Republicans, after Garland appointed a special counsel to look into former President Trump's possible mishandling of classified documents. But Democrats say the 2 cases are different.
What I would say is that the president has been moving with cooperation.
The president's team says the National Archives and the Justice Department were alerted after their discovery. Former President Trump's home was searched by the FBI after the feds say Trump and his aides resisted handing over records.
I hear from so many constituents is this double standard and the fact that there's no longer equal treatment under the law.
Possible legal trouble for President Biden or former President Trump could create a political headache.
Both of them essentially are candidates in the 2024 election. So this has tremendous ramifications in terms of the politics.
The White House says they think this review will show these documents were inadvertently misplaced and the president acted promptly upon discovering the mistake. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another 4-state hero. Glenn Rutledge served in the U.S. Navy from 1952 to 1955. The Joplin native was stationed in the Mediterranean Sea on the USS Neches. As a part of the 6th Fleet, we salute 2nd Class Petty Officer Glenn Rutledge, a 4-state hero. Coming up, inflation hitting egg prices especially hard.
If you've been to the grocery store lately, you've probably noticed that the price for a dozen eggs has nearly doubled in the past year. I'm Lydia Hu with the Fox Business Network. We're at this egg farm in New Jersey, getting a look at what's behind the soaring price of eggs.
Rising egg prices are leaving consumers scrambling for alternatives. Fox Business correspondent Lydia Hu is in Howell, New Jersey, with just how much consumers are shelling out right now for popular protein.
The main driver of higher egg prices is the avian bird flu. Through the end of last year, it had wiped out 44 million laying hens across the country. The USDA says egg inventories were down about 29% through the end of December. With fewer eggs on the market, prices are up. Today's report on inflation shows that egg prices for the month of December were up nearly 60% over the prior year. They increased more than 11% over the prior month of November. The average cost of a carton of eggs hitting $3.59 across the country. That's more than the average price for a gallon of gas. And in some regions, it's higher. $7.37 in California for a dozen of cage-free eggs and $4.59 for a dozen of eggs in New York.
Every time you lose 1 million chickens, you're losing about 15 to 16,000 cases of eggs a week in production for every 1 million birds that gets affected.
Now, as we look to see where egg prices are headed, experts say that depends on whether we have additional outbreaks of the bird flu. The USDA does say that egg inventories are starting to improve, but in the short term, American consumers should expect to pay higher prices for a dozen of eggs at the local grocery store. Reporting in Howell, New Jersey, Lydia Hu, Fox Business.
Mortgage rates fell for the first time in 3 weeks. The 30-year fixed-rate mortgage averaged 6.33% according to the mortgage buyer Freddie Mac. A year ago, the 30-year FRM averaged 3.45%. Freddie Mac's chief economist says the housing market remains hypersensitive to rate movements, with purchase demand experiencing large swings relative to small changes in rates. And Chloe Arroyo is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, Galena High School's head football coach is stepping away after 16 years with the program.
Well, I hope you've been bundling up today and even tonight, and we're going to continue to bundle up as we head into tomorrow. It's going to be pretty cold the next day or so. Let's take a live look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort live in Seneca, Missouri. You know, if you're out there, I do not envy you. It is mighty chilly outside right now. Temperatures hanging around in the upper 20s to lower 30s. Joplin at 29, Pittsburgh at 29 as well, but Yates Center and Iola up there at 27, a whopping 27. My goodness. So current conditions right now in Joplin hanging around in the upper 20s, but we also have that wind coming from the northwest at about 13 miles per hour. And because of that, it feels like 19 degrees outside, mighty chilly. So very cold, but also very dry right now. We've got this these drought conditions in portions of Kansas and Oklahoma, and that it does kind of bleed through into Missouri and Arkansas, but definitely not as severe. But luckily, we do have some relief coming up in the next few days here. We do have some above average chances to see some precipitation pretty soon here. So let's take a look at that. Our future track on Sunday, we'll see some clouds. Winds coming from the south. Will be warming up just a hair before we see this chance for rain pushing through and moving out off to the east into Monday. We won't see anything Tuesday, but then we'll see another chance for even more widespread rain and some thunder boomers here and there on Wednesday morning. That's going to push out into Wednesday afternoon, leaving us with temperatures pretty seasonal for this time of year. Now taking a look at our evening out tonight, temperatures were in the 30s, the lower 30s at about dinner time, and then we're going to reach down into the lower 20s. So very clear, very calm outside, but mighty, mighty chilly, and that's going to continue into tonight. Temperatures are going to reach down into the lower 20s. 23 is expected to be our low for tonight, and then as we head into tomorrow morning, temperatures are going to be in the lower 30s. So once again, pretty chilly, but then as we head into our 7-day, we can take a look. Friday's not going to be much warmer. We have a high of 38, and then we'll warm up quite a bit on Sunday and Monday. Temperatures in the 60s, 64. On Monday, we'll have about a 40% chance for some morning showers and storms on Monday, and then 60% chance, a little bit more widespread on Wednesday. Then as we head into the weekend, next weekend, Friday, we'll have a chance for precipitation, and then even Sunday. So a lot of rain going on in the next week or so.
And as we talked about at the top of the show, is that we needed a little bit more rain to break the drought that we have in the area. But as for right now, as long as we make it through tomorrow, you're saying we should be good?
Yes, we should be good. We should be good. Yes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Chloe. Coming up, more controversy for one freshman congressman.
Critics say Congressman George Santos is a liar and a fraudster, but he says he's not going anywhere.
I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
Beleaguered New York Congressman George Santos says he's not going anywhere, at least not for now. What this means for House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is a lot of pointed questions and a stark realization with the razor-thin Republican majority, every vote counts despite the distractions. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
We'll be talking to you guys soon.
As more politicians say it's time for him to go, on Thursday, controversial Congressman George Santos said it's not their call.
I'm not doing this as a political job. I'm serving the American people who elected me.
During his campaign, the New York Republican lied about graduating college, his job history, and even being Jewish. The congressman is now facing multiple investigations over campaign and personal finances. On Thursday, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy suggested Santos won't be given top secret information, but said he's still a member of Congress.
The voters of his district have elected him. He is seated. He is part of the Republican conference.
Some New York Republicans are calling for Santos to resign.
As a person who spent every day of his adult life in an elected office, if you can't be honest with yourself, you're never going to be honest with your constituents.
Democrats, meanwhile, have questions.
How did Republicans let this happen? How did you get behind someone like George Santos, who is so clearly a fraudster?
2 New York Democrats have a bill that would require future candidates to give more biographical information to the Federal Elections Commission, and if they lie, they could be fined or go to prison. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Up next, we'll learn what makes this new Barbie doll from Mattel different and make it safer for younger kids. Doll maker Mattel has created a new Barbie specifically for preschoolers. My First Barbie is for kids 3 years and older. It looks different from the original Barbie, standing at a little over 13 inches tall. It has a softer body and more articulated arms and legs. The hands are closed, which makes it easier to dress and undress the doll. My First Barbie has a summer beach look with a complete sun hat and swimsuit. She even comes with accessories like shoes and purses. The doll comes in 4 different skin tones, and it sells for $20 at Walmart, Target, Amazon, and other retailers. 31 minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. We'll hear from a local expert about tips to keep children safe with autism. Plus,
the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students was back in court today. I'm Dan Springer. That story coming up.
Authorities in Cyril, Oklahoma have arrested the caretaker of Athena Brownfield, a 4-year-old with autism who's been missing since Monday. Alyssa Adams was arrested on 2 complaints of child neglect. Police were notified Tuesday afternoon that Athena was missing after a postal carrier found her 5-year-old sister. The next day, several law enforcement response teams and volunteers completed a grid search of the entire town, empty homes, and local waterways. Search dogs along with drones were brought out as well. The resources unfortunately provided no new information, and her whereabouts are still unknown. When it comes to children, parents have safety concerns around strangers and the risk of walking alone in the community. However, children with autism may face unique risk. KOAM's Shagun Bondali has more.
Children with autism may face a unique risk because of their tendency to fixate on certain items or display sensory-seeking behaviors, which can leave them unaware of possible dangers around them.
Hardest things as a professional and a parent is how to teach your children to be safe and not always speak with strangers. I think that's always the first rule of thumb, is that you have to teach your children to be leery and also to be aware that it's okay to talk to people, but don't just go up and talk to strangers.
Saying hello might be good, but LaCamp warns that parents must teach children to look for trusted adults at all times.
But what we can teach our children is it's okay to say hello, but then to also stop and turn around and look for parents. Definitely teach our children, do not get in a vehicle, do not go walking with that individual no matter what they say.
Some children might be nonverbal, but experts say that doesn't mean the child does not understand what is being communicated.
Just because they can't speak back to you and confirm that they get it, that doesn't mean that they understand it or don't understand it. So there are also a lot of videos and I think coloring books and lots of other different material that are not just teaching safety, but they're also fun.
KOAM gives tips on how to monitor children's whereabouts.
So in this day and age, there are so many websites that you can go to, and there are sensors for your doors, there's sensors for your gate, there's so much. There's the Ring doorbells. There are so many different devices that can trigger and go straight to your phone app and let you know, hey, your child has left the yard.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Shagun Bamdele, KOAM News.
For more information on Mosaic and the services that they offer, you can check out their link on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The holiday season is behind us, and a decidedly less celebrated season is right around the corner, tax season. The IRS has officially set January 23rd as the start of the 2023 tax season, the day the agency will begin accepting and processing 2022 returns. Normally, the filing deadline is April 15th, but this year that's a Saturday, and the following Monday is Emancipation Day, which is a holiday. So this year, the filing deadline is Tuesday, April 18th. Nearly 2 weeks after his arrest, accused Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger is back in court. Fox News correspondent Dan Springer has more from Moscow, Idaho.
A day after classes resumed at the University of Idaho, the man accused of killing 4 students off campus appears in court. 28-year-old PhD criminology student Bryan Kohberger appearing for a status hearing Thursday.
Are you waiving your right to a speedy preliminary hearing and agreeing that that hearing can be held outside the 14-day period?
Yes. In court, Kohberger remained calm and kept his face directed at the judge as he waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing. His defense team did not ask for him to be released on bail. Prosecutors also did not reveal if they will be pursuing the death penalty if the case goes to trial.
You will be remanded into custody on your same no bail at this point in time.
Kohberger has yet to enter any pleas. He faces 4 charges of first-degree murder in the fatal stabbings of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Kernodle's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin. All 4 were killed inside a home they shared in the early morning hours of November 13th. Court records indicate Kohberger was tied to the murders through DNA evidence. Cell phone records also show the graduate student may have been stalking one of the students in the months leading up to the attack. A motive, however, is still unclear.
Before we left for winter break, it was, scary just kind of knowing that they hadn't caught him yet. But I think being back now, I feel pretty safe on campus.
Kohberger's preliminary hearing was scheduled for June 26th, and his attorney anticipates it will take 4 to 5 days. In Moscow, Idaho, Dan Springer, Fox News.
A bit later, a local music teacher is surprised with the state award.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I had my puffer on just a few minutes ago. It's been freezing inside, outside. Temperatures very winter-like right now. Let's take a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort live in Seneca, Missouri right now. You definitely don't want to be outside right now. Pretty chilly. Temperatures hanging around in the upper 20s to lower 30s. Miami at 32, Grove down there at 34, but Iola and Yates Center up there in the upper 20s at 26 and 28. Mighty chilly. Right now in Joplin, very calm outside, but temperatures in the upper 20s, 29 right now. We've got that northwest wind at about 13 miles per hour, which is making us feel a whole lot colder at about 19 degrees. So between that wind and the colder temperatures, you're not going to want to be outside right now, but we're also pretty dry, and we have been the past 8 months or so. Now, thankfully, it has lessened, or it has cleared up just a little bit, but even then, we're still at that exceptional rate off further west in Kansas and Oklahoma. Now, Missouri and Arkansas have been a little bit more lucky, but speaking of luck, we're going to see some rain this week for multiple days, pretty above average across the board, especially in our viewing area. So let's break that down just a bit. On Sunday afternoon, we're going to see some clouds here and there. We're going to warm up just a bit, and we're going to warm up, oddly enough, even warmer as we head into the evening hours. Joplin at 59 by Monday morning. Then we'll have that rain push out to the east. By the time we get to Tuesday, we're not going to see much until we get into Wednesday morning into afternoon, we'll have some more widespread rain across the region in Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and even Arkansas. That's going to push out, and by the time we head into about 8 or 8:30 on Wednesday, that'll be out of our system completely. Now, evening out tonight, temperatures were in the lower 30s around dinner time, and now right now we're hanging around in the upper 20s. So it's definitely cold. You're definitely gonna want to be bundling up right now, and even into tomorrow. Temperatures tonight are going to hang around in the lower 20s, 23 for our low tonight, and then as we head into tomorrow morning, we'll dip into the 30s. And then as for our high tomorrow, we're not going to get much warmer from there. Friday, our high will be about 38. Mighty cold, but we'll warm up on Sunday and Monday into the 60s. Pretty crazy, but we'll have a chance for precipitation on Monday, Wednesday. And now looking at our 10-day, we have even more on Friday and even some precipitation on Sunday.
Sounds good. Well, since we're going to have such cold temps tomorrow, you should show the audience what they should be wearing, right?
I'll show it. Wait,
yeah,
can
go
I
ahead.
really?
Grab it.
Okay.
Might as well.
I'll just here we go. This one right here kept me so warm about 15 minutes ago.
You guys see it. Go ahead, grab your puffer, stay warm.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Chloe. Worldwide, 2022 was another hot year. Not a record breaker, but close. And upper layer ocean temperatures are the highest on record. NASA and NOAA climate researchers track the vital signs of planet Earth released their annual assessment of global temperatures today. They found temperatures signifying a long-term global warming trend tied to human activity. The analysis also found 2022 was a year marked by extreme weather events. And coming up in sports, the Pitt State and Missouri Southern basketball teams hit the floor at home for conference doubleheaders. Plus, the Southeast Kansas high school football coach is moving on after 16 years on the sideline. Our own Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Well, both the Pittsburgh State Gorillas and Missouri Southern Lions are in action tonight in MIAA conference play. Missouri Southern is at home this evening, hosting the Washburn Ichabods. On the women's side, important game for the Lions. They're trying to snap a 3-game skid and get back over 500 in conference play. They're kicking things off in the first. The Lions get right to it. Caitlin Honeycutt drains the 3. Elaine Skiles from the corner. She knocks it down. And not much scoring in the first. Look at the passing here. Stokes to Skiles to Grant to Maddie Stokes. He hits the easy lay-in. Maddie Stokes, 10 points, 15 boards tonight. Second quarter, Lacey Stokes drives. Finishes with the left. More on her in just a moment. Now tied at 22 at half. This is where things open up for the Lions. Lacey Stokes gets it to go, and the foul. Southern takes off from there. Stokes beating the buzzer at the end of the third. Dagger, she scores 18 points on the night with 5 steals. Lions take over the second half, winning 61-45. Here's their head coach, Ronnie Ressel, on the turnaround in the second half.
When we started the third quarter, those first 4.5 minutes, I thought we were really good offensively. We got some really good looks, got to lead out to either 8 or 10 points there in the first 5 minutes, and which I thought was huge. And then again, we continued to guard and take things away from them and didn't give them any easy looks at the basket, very few of them, which again, when you're doing those type of things in this league, you got a chance to put yourself in a good position to win ball games, and our kids did a great job of doing that on both ends of the floor.
The Missouri Southern men put their 6-game winning streak on the line tonight against Washburn. Starting off with Winston Desau. Sinks it for 3 there from the right corner. More from him in just a minute. Avery Taggart gets the lay-in here. He finishes with 13 tonight. Now back to Winston Desau. Nice pass off rebound. Nice reverse there. Desau scores 12 points, 55% from the field today. The Southern stays hot. Vincent Sigmund. Corner 3, same spot here. Pass from Thompson to Desau now. Another corner 3. We'll go back to Avery Taggart. He hits the jumper for another deep ball for the Lions. Southern dominates in this one, keeps their winning streak alive, winning 70-50. Well, the Pittsburgh State Gorillas are also at home for a conference doubleheader tonight, hosting Emporia State. The PSU women 6-3 to begin MIAA play, and they've won 6 of their last 8 games. On the other side, Emporia State kind of struggling right now, losing 4 straight coming into the night. The first quarter, Corinna Gerber working inside, scores and the foul. 13 points, 5 boards tonight for Gerber. Aaron Davis open for three here. She hits 3 threes tonight. Gorillas really rolled from the second quarter on. Tristan Gegg, floater in the lane, 13 points for Gegg tonight. Also hit 3 threes. Harper Schreiner, 8 assists tonight, finds Grace Pyle with this one. Team high 17 points, 11 rebounds for Pyle. The Gorillas up big in the fourth. Nice ball movement here. Emma Martin to Harper Schreiner to Savannah Campbell. Pitt State rolls by Emporia State tonight, 82-61. They're now 7-3 in the MIAA.
Definitely we didn't come out and start as well as we wanted to, but I think, after we got that first quarter out of the way, I think we all started to settle in and move the ball really well, found some open shots, knocked them down, and, just overall performance was great tonight from everybody from top to bottom.
It means a lot to the people in the Pittsburgh community, like against these tougher rival schools, and so for us to get a pretty good win against them feels really good.
To the men now, Gorillas trying to snap a 5-game losing streak to get to MIAA opponents. Now they're down early. Albert McBride trying to give him a spark. Layup in transition for McBride. Then on the far side, he's open for 3, knocks it down. McBride scores 8 tonight. On the break, Marquis English. Mr. Pittsburgh gets the easy lay-in off the assist from Quentin Hardrick. He gets 9 points with 5 boards. And Pitt State turned it over 22 times tonight. Hornets beat the Gorillas 79-63. Galena High School head football coach Bo Sarwinski is stepping away from coaching after 16 years leading the program. Now, Sarwinski is moving on from coaching to become a principal for the Galena High School. Now, Sarwinski has led one of the most consistent programs in the state in the last 16 years. The Bulldogs were 127-44 under Coach Sarwinski and won 18 playoff games. Now, he says it will be different not being on the sideline, but he's excited for the opportunity to continue to work with the kids in Galena.
My kids have been through this school system, and as they've grown up, the people care about them, and the staff, the community, admin, the Board of Education, they're all on the same page. We care about kids here, and our philosophy's been let's do what's best for kids, and when you have that mentality, I think it's contagious and exciting, and so that's something that I've just want to kind of continue on is do what's best for kids, and just do my small part and help each other and serve others.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
A Southeast Kansas music teacher is being recognized with the state award. Alan Paxson has worked at Chautauqua schools for 45 years, teaching music and directing the school's band and choir. Today he was surprised with an award from the Kansas Music Educators Association, Outstanding Music Educator of the Year. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks visited the ceremony.
I was involved in high school in music, choir and band, and my final year I got really involved, and I had an instructor that really did a lot with us, and so it kind of sparked me to want to go on and go into music education. I had a real strong love for music, and I like to share it, and I enjoy bringing what I can to the kids.
State Music Teacher of the Year in Kansas.
I first moved here to Chautauqua. I was in 2nd grade, and he, of course, was my music teacher, and he continued on being my music teacher, and then my band teacher, and also my choir teacher, and I actually twirled for the band through high school. And some of my favorite memories of Mr. Paxton in high school was the trips we would go on and how much fun we would have and all the love that he had for music.
Mr. Paxton is incredible. He is a phenomenal teacher. He is calm, composed, but passionate. He never lets his frustrations show. He always finds a way to motivate students without seeming harsh or over the top. And he really pushes that love that he has for music into his students.
The thing that I would like for them to do is to have an appreciation of music, and something that could be a lifelong endeavor for them, that even if they don't participate in it, just that they have an appreciation for it.
Paxson also won this award in 2010. Coming up, the new season of Fox's Name That Tune has already seen its first grand prize won. We'll hear from the celebrity winner, Todrick Hall. The new season of Fox's Name That Tune is off to a great start after one of the celebrity contestants scored the Golden Medley Grand Prize. Here's Ashley Dvorkin with the story.
Fox's Name That Tune Celebrity Edition wrapped up the first week of Season 3 with its first grand prize winner. Todrick!
It was so insane. I've done a lot of competition shows, and I usually don't win. I usually get very close.
Singer, actor, and Broadway star Todrick Hall scored the extra $100,000 cash prize during the Golden Medley round, winning a $135,000 for his charity, Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS.
I'm a Broadway actor. I love the theater community. I have been a thespian and a theater super fan for a long time. So to be able to get back to a community that has been so supportive of me and that does so many great things to help so many great, incredible artistic people is something that I'm so happy that I could play a part.
I think I can name that tune in 5 notes.
Starring in Broadway musicals and releasing several albums may have helped the entertainer during the competition.
I write music for a living and I am a performer and I sing and dance all the time. So I definitely think that gives you an advantage to be able to spot music and recognize melodies.
Ring my bell.
Honey, that is correct. But rehearsals left him feeling less confident about taking home the prize money.
When they played songs, I lost by a landslide because I didn't recognize any of the songs. So I went into this with 0% faith in myself.
Hall will share an unfiltered and honest look at his life in MTV's new celebrity-based LGBTQ+ reality show, The Real Friends of WeHo, premiering January 20th.
It's funny, it has heart. You're going to laugh, you're going to cry, and there's enough drama to last you a lifetime.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, that's our time for tonight, and thank you guys so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with the video of a baby chimpanzee at the Chester Zoo in England. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.